Hey, I'm William. Today we're rolling up our sleeves to discover why our Maytag washer won't drain water. This could be caused by a clogged drain hose, a clogged tub port, a faulty drain pump, a faulty wire, or even a bad control. Before we get started, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you want to join our do-it-yourself repair community, and you're notified each time we post a new video guide. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. Today, we'll need a multimeter, channel lock pliers, a 5/16 inch nut driver, a 1/4 inch nut driver, a 1/4 inch socket, and a flathead screwdriver, and possibly a towel. While you're getting those together, remember to keep safety first. Always turn off and unplug your appliance before you do any work on it to protect yourself from electric shock.
Don't forget to turn off your water supply and unscrew your hoses from the washer. You might need a towel handy to clean up any unwanted water.
The first thing we're going to do is check for clogs. This is a very common issue that can happen. If your washer is full of water, take out as much of it as you can. You'll want to get a large tub or several towels to catch any leftover water once we start digging into this washer. Now we can use our channel lock pliers to squeeze the drain hose clamp and slide it up the drain hose a little way. With that done, we're going to line up a towel to catch any water. In this case, I'm not going to use a towel since this washer is completely empty. You may want to use a few towels though. We can check the hose for any signs of clog by keeping the hose as straight as possible and looking down into it. We should see all the way through, or at least see a light. If you don't, the clog will need to be cleared. If it looks good, we can move on. Our next step is to check the internal drain hose. You can tilt the washer to the back to access this. I'm going to lay the washer on its back so it's easier to see. We're going to use the channel lock pliers to move the retaining ring up the internal hose just a bit. Now we can disconnect the hose from the drain pump and see if there's a clog in there.
At this point, you may need a towel to catch any water that could possibly leak out.
If there is, it will need to be cleared. If not, we will need to move on. Now we will need to use the 5/16 inch nut driver to remove the drain pump mounting screws.
There are 3 total screws holding this drain pump together, so make sure you get all of them.
Now we can pull the drain pump off and check the tub port for any clogs. Washcloths and small socks can get stuck in here and prevent the drain pump from pushing water out. If something is clogging this area, let's clear it out. If not, we'll need to get into some electrical testing. We're going to be checking for live voltage during this next test. And to do that, we'll need the washer plugged in and powered on, so please be very careful here. Always take extreme care when checking live voltage so you can protect yourself from electric shock, which does have the potential to cause serious injuries. Don't ever test live voltage if you're uncomfortable using a multimeter. Now we're going to test the drain pump. Make sure the work area is completely dry before you start testing. There's a locking tab on each side of the cover that will need to be pulled to open this cover. Now we're going to test the drain pump. Make sure the work area is completely dry before you start testing. We're setting the drain pump down, making sure it's in a dry spot. Now using the technical sheet in our washer, we're going to enter into the manual test mode to only activate the drain pump. With our meter set to volts AC, which looks like a V with a squiggly line, we're testing the drain pump for 120 volts. If you get voltage there, then the drain pump has failed. If not, we can stop the manual test and reinstall the drain pump and internal hose, then continue testing. At this stage, we're going to test directly at the main control for 120 volts AC while the drain pump manual test is on. We can also keep our meter set to volts AC. To access the control for testing, we're going to remove the console back cover. We'll need to remove the 1/4 inch screws that secure the cover in place, then set it to the side. We can start the drain pump manual test now. At connection J16, we're going to test the drain pump voltage from the light blue wire at pin 3 to the white wire with a blue stripe at pin 2. If you don't see 120 volts AC here, that means the main control has failed. If you see 120 volts AC, it leaves only one possible culprit. If we had good voltage earlier, then the lower wire harness is the last possible cause of failure, and we know this through the process of elimination.
For the last check, we will need to check voltage from the control panel and the drain pump to see if the issue is with the wire harness.
At connection J16, we're going to test the drain pump voltage from the light blue wire at pin 3 to the white wire with a blue stripe at pin 2.
We should see 120 volts AC. Now we can stop the drain pump test to access the drain pump connection.
Now we're going to test the drain pump. Make sure the work area is completely dry before you start testing. We're setting the drain pump down, making sure it's in a dry spot. Now using the technical sheet in our washer, we're going to enter into the manual test mode to only activate the drain pump. With our meter set to volts AC, which looks like a V with a squiggly line, we're testing the drain pump for 120 volts.
If there was voltage at the main control but not at the drain pump, the harness has failed. If there is voltage at both points, the harness is good, and something else may be causing your washer to not drain. Once that is finished, go ahead and put the washer back on its base. Then connect the water hoses and turn your water supply back on.
You made it! Great job! We hope you were able to find the part that failed in your washer. If you need a replacement, visit AppliancePartsPros.com with your model number so you can order one. You'll most likely have the new part in your hands within just a few business days, and we have thousands more videos like this one to guide you through the installation process. We'd also love to hear how your repair went, so please share your story with us in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons to see more of these videos. We'll see you next time.